Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode 199, where a podcast talks about pop culture, things that interest us, and sometimes there's whiskey. My name is John. I'm joined, as always, by Andrea. How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Glad I'm awake for our late podcast, which isn't really so late, but it just feels that way because daylight savings time. I feel like I totally got hit out of nowhere with that surprise today. And then two, as you know, it was my youngest birthday and we went to the zoo and had a very, very full day. So my body has been like, can we go to sleep yet? Since like 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally forgot about the daylight savings. I'd been reminded of it a few days back, but then stayed up much too late watching the fights and stuff last night, and it's like, oh, it was just
sure.
it was the wrong night to do that.
Yes.
Too much to drink, everything. So then we lose an hour. So, but it's be better tomorrow. Recovered.
It will. And I was reminded blessedly that, my children are old enough where daylight savings time hits them, but it's not quite the same as it is when you have like babies who are very used to like very specific routines, and you have, feedings at very specific times, naps at very specific times, and then suddenly somehow it's like all off and you're some sort of like math whiz just, standing in front of a board being like, if I move this here and I shift this here and maybe, we can fall asleep if we just like do Rockies here. No, like you're so screwed with babies.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I don't know. We could just maybe this year we can just keep this time and not change it. That sound good?
Someday somebody's gonna, run for political office or some such, just solely on the premise of like, I will abolish daylight savings time, and they are gonna rock it to the top, my friend.
Part of what I heard is that people are split on which one you should keep.
Oh God, I don't care.
See. Yeah, exactly. I think that's
don't.
The thing. It doesn't really matter, right? Because then you just set the expectation of like, oh, this time of year it's dark at this time, and this time of year it's dark at this time.
Yep. I'm totally fine with it. I don't like the fallback spring ahead. It's just it's silly.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay, well, hope everybody else is enjoying that as well. A little change, unless you're in like northern Arizona, and some other places, different countries and all that sort of thing. But yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about Fallout, which in their world, I don't know, it's
what is time?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it'd be important to be tracking that. At the same time, for your standard person, yeah, what is it? What does it matter? Just like,
yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm just thinking about now, but the concept of time never really comes up in that show.
no.
Dates seem important, years seem important, but like minutes don't, and hours in days don't ever seem important. Nobody really talks about meetings at 7:00 or, the 5:00 quitting time, or I don't know. I'm just kind of like rolling through the episodes and the concept of time isn't really a feature.
Yeah. Well, it's just, you go back, and a long time ago, and obviously like the town clock tower would be important. People, I had to set my watches, my clocks to something, and you can't just look on your phone or online or whatever.
True.
Even not all that long ago, like in our lifetimes, it's like, oh, you want to set the clocks back or something like that. You'd listen to the radio and they could tell you the time,
That's true. Yeah.
Because your watch or whatever, your clocks are going to lose or gain a couple minutes over the course of, months and stuff. So, So now when you're a post-apocalyptic world, I mean, I guess in this situation, there's still it's shocking the amount of remnants from the past yet. Robots that are alive, all those sorts of things, terminals that exist, but at least those for vault dwellers, it can be found on the surface too, So it's like you have resources there, but nothing official, and I suppose it doesn't matter to people that much. But it's just one of those things. Like if society forms again, kind of successfully, then it does matter again all of a sudden. So if you
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
someone forgets completely and doesn't keep track, like all of a sudden, well, I guess it's this year, and I
Yeah.
guess better have someone
Yeah.
that can look at the stars good and figure it out.
Right. I mean, time is a concept. It's the lie that we all agree on. So, it's one of those frivolous things that I'm sure would let go in an apocalyptic situation. And then, like you said, when society reforms, who gets to decide then? Is there daylight savings time in the wasteland?
I don't know. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. Fallout Season 2, covering the latter half of that season, so 5 through 8. Before that, we'll talk about our weeks and a couple weeks really, and stuff we've been watching. But we should kick things off with drink holidays.
For sure. It's been a couple weeks, but I know our goal is still to look ahead, spring ahead, don't fall back.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh God, I'm going to be so full of time puns and other weird jokes tonight. I apologize in advance. But looking ahead exactly a week, on March 15th, it will be Espresso Martini Day. I will tell you right now, because I am so tired, that is what I have chosen for tonight, because I felt like some coffee. And you can't really see it because I can't really tilt my glass because it's very full. But there are 3 espresso beans to decorate my martini because my daughter turned 3 today. So there you go.
There you go.
Sentiment. Looking ahead just a little bit, of course, one of the biggest drinking holidays of all, on the 17th, it will be St. Patrick's Day. And so I did want to sneak in a mention, since we passed them by, but they could still be celebrated. On March 3rd, it was Irish Whiskey Day. Could celebrate that on St. Patrick's Day. Or on the 5th, it was Absinthe Day. And absinthe is most oftenly green. So felt like it kind of fit into like a St. Patrick's Day drink possibility. So if you're feeling nostalgic for those, you could still celebrate on the 17th. Post that on the 20th, it is Bach Beer Day. And then on the 24th, go nuts, do whatever you want. It's National Cocktail Day. And I'm pretty sure you could make anything that already exists or invent something new, and it'll all be good because it's one of those general holidays.
Very nice. Well, I'm glad that you're carrying our weight today, because
cheers.
I just have so this, it looks cool or whatever, it's one of my nice Fantastic Four glasses.
Oh yes, retro. I love it. It would fit in like the 50s vibe of the vault, I think.
Right, exactly. But it's just body armor on ice with my collagen and creatine in it. So
yeah, when you said it was a late night watching fights and having some drinks, I was like, John's not drinking tonight. And that is super fair.
So, yeah. Yeah, we had Shoju last night, so. Yeah.
Nice.
But it's not, I should have looked at this. This was not Soju Day anywhere.
That is okay.
So, did I say Shoju? Or did I say Soju?
You said shoju the first time, and then you just said soju. But my brain processed and knew what you meant. But
Soju is the one I mean.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah. Anyways. Well, yes. Cheers to anyone out there drinking along. Anyone that is out there, make sure you like, share, subscribe in all the places. Just as a reminder, everybody, we go live, and we are right now, if you're listening to this live, on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Twitch. So take your pick. We're all over the place, and we're on podcast directories as well. I'll have to get I'll have to get a way that Alan can put in the link or something, but we have a coffee account now if you want to support us
Oh,
that
that's
way.
right.
So we'll figure something out like that. But that's it for that. What's if it feels like it's been a while. We had I forget what exactly happened. Something on my end, I think, and then something on your
Something on mind. Yeah.
it's just like with multiple delays. So we've had some time here since our
Mhm.
last episode, and the last one was an anime one. So what
Mhm.
kind of anime have you been up to?
Yeah, I mean, I've been binging some anime in obviously preparation for our detour time that's coming up, and obviously for the show as well. And I'm just kind of in that mood anyway right now. Um, but Chris and I also powered through season 3 of Ted Lasso. We've been hanging on to that for like 3 years. So
Okay.
I have split with my Apple TV account now because I was literally hanging on to it for that. Now I hear there's going to be a season 4 and it's coming out in August. And I was like, are you fracking serious, Apple? So,
Okay, so this is interesting. Two things. One, how was season 3? And two, this is shocking because I also just kind of purged a whole bunch of different services, and Apple was one of
okay.
them,
Yeah.
which is something I would have figured, but I managed to get things cheaper a different way. So, yeah.
Solid. Yeah, I'm like seriously annoyed that I literally found out like 2 days after I cut my Apple subscription that they were like, surprise, season 4, it's actually happening. um but yeah, season 3 was good. It definitely wasn't like the amazingness I think that earned the first 2 seasons so many Emmy nominations, but it was still very good. It was solid quality programming, and so I think people maybe judged it a bit harshly, which is easier to do when you've watched the excellence of the first 2 seasons so recently. Where for me, like looking back, I was still like, this is really good. I
Okay.
don't know why people are so irritated. So I enjoyed that. Plus, it's like one of those feel good shows. It's like Great British Baking Show. Like the positivity is something that sometimes you just really feel like you crave every once in a while. Just something nice,
Sure. Yeah.
restoring your faith in humanity kinds of things. So it was a good watch.
Okay.
And then on the recommendation of Phil, I read the first half of Dungeon Crawler Carl, the first book
Okay.
in that series, and I'm really enjoying it. It's like playing a video game or watching a like a dungeon show, a dungeon anime, but in book form, and
Sure.
it works surprisingly well. I really feel swept up in the world that the writer has created and the characters. Like it feels somehow like watching or playing something. And I'm not sure how they've managed to do it in book form, but it's good.
Sure.
It's good.
Very cool. Back with Ted Lasso for a second
Yeah.
and full service. I just have come to the realization with some of the things that I so firstly I kept Apple things for a long time with that because it's a good deal to bundle together all the stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm already going to pay for the cloud storage. I already want a music streaming service. We're already doing the Apple Fitness, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just there. It's going to work out. But I just Apple has so many things I want to watch, but yet I never watch them. I never
Yes.
get around to watching them. So I'm hanging
Yes.
on to a thing for the shows that I very much would like to watch, but they never reach the top of my to-do list. And so they never
Mm-hmm.
seen. And so we did that now with Netflix too. That's gone for now, which
Sure.
just the kids on Pokemon. So we might have to like buy a couple DVDs or something, I guess. Um, but I have to like
Ooh, actually talk to Chris. Talk to Chris. He found something where we watch Pokemon. It's like its own thing.
okay.
Yeah. I have
Maybe
no
there's
idea.
a
He has it on his own computer. He sets it up every time, and the kids are very upset at me that they're not watching Pokemon right now. But yeah, he found something where we've got like all the seasons. We've been cruising, let me tell you, through these seasons. So I will find out what that is.
Like the kid, oh, sure, yeah, the kids have been enjoying it, so
Yeah.
we're not in, but yeah, whatever's left on our subscription of Netflix is what they get for now. However, whenever that
Sure.
runs out. So
Sure.
but, yeah, I've just got to make those cuts because we just only so much time in a day, and
Yeah.
whatever. So I'll sign
Yeah.
up for something when I had to do that more targeted. Sign up for something when I know I'm going to watch the thing, and then turn off when I'm done. Just have to do that more.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to that place too because I mean, I hung on to Apple TV for so long, just like thinking I was going to start things or I got interested in things and I would like put them on the same with you. I would put them on my to watch list, but they never got to the top. They were never the thing that
Silo,
yeah.
Pluribus, Severin,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
and then there's
I was
movies too,
right. Well, and I really loved that first season that we watched of Physical, and I kept promising myself that I was going to watch season 2. Never did. Never did.
Yep. Exactly.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know what you do. Like I say, I can't stress about it anymore. Like not being
Yep.
able to get all the things. It just has to be
Yep.
kind of for shows, like something we'll agree on watching, and then it can be, one other thing or whatever, so yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I mean, other things are increasing their subscription prices. Like I just got a notification from Crunchyroll that, I'm sure you did too, that they're bumping it up, which I don't blame them for, other than the, obviously immediate reaction of like, why?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was that much easier to say no to something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Crunchyroll has a stranglehold. I mean, they're obviously, if you don't need to keep up on certain things, you don't have like a set, here's the hot show and I need to be up on that. You
Which we
can
do.
dive, right? Which we do. You can do high dive. You can
Yeah.
watch stuff on Amazon. You can do Netflix. Like there is enough stuff in those
Yeah.
places, really. You're just going to miss out on a bunch of the big current things. It's just
Yes.
what it is.
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
but we'll see. We'll see what happens there with all the streaming service stuff. More to change coming with that and everything. But I've been spending my time this last couple weeks really with gaming more.
Yes, I
It's been
saw that.
something
I love it.
yeah, I still managed to read quite a few comic books. It's something that, like, especially if I am reading them digitally, or manga, it's typically light enough where like I'm going back and reading the Fantastic Four books from the 60s and stuff like that. And I can just like read a couple pages and then the kids need me, it's like
Mhm.
pick up, put down kind of thing.
Yeah.
Really nice doing that. Otherwise, we I'm playing Mass Effect. So the Ashley, like if there's a couple things Ashley wishes of me, one would be to play Mass Effect. So to
Sure.
play some of the games that she loves a lot. And
Sure.
I just haven't been into nothing's pulled me in, and I haven't been making the choice to play games over something else until recently now. So I'm playing some Mass Effect. I'm like 13 hours in to the first one in the Legendary Edition, and also playing Fallout 76. So because we
Yeah.
watched the Fallout show, and we tried a little bit a long time ago. Ashley doesn't like online games, online multiplayer
Sure.
games, and all that sort of thing. But she likes Fallout a lot. And this game really doesn't, it allows us to play together. And it doesn't really matter that anyone else is like, the only time we've run into
No one
people in the
bothers you.
game, yeah, they either completely leave you alone or they run up and say hi and give you stuff because they're super high level. So,
Well, that's sweet.
yeah. So it's been a lot of fun. We've been choosing to, like, when we want to spend time together, that's how we're trying to spend our time together. So
Sure.
this next week we'll have to change it up some to power through some anime. But yeah. So I've been enjoying that. It's been both those things have been a lot of fun. Even though I had an NPC, I won't spoil things, but someone in Mass Effect kill one of my other party members, and I was
Oh.
so freaking mad. Ashley was shocked too because she's like, I've never had that happen ever. And I talked to some other people, and they're aware of that possibility and stuff. So, but I'm like
Okay.
not happy. Not. I almost went back a save to undo it, but I just typically I treat him like playing D&D. You can't. There's no take backsies. You can't rewind time.
Sure.
So
Sure.
yeah,
Sorry.
that's that. Earlier I did see Wuthering Heights. Did you ever manage to see that one?
No, but I'm about to. So I have a group of friends who in Victorian studies that I've kept in touch with from grad school. And we are all getting together on, oh God, what is time? Like March 22nd or something, like 2 weekends from now, to see it. So I will see it. So I was going
Okay.
to see it myself, and then somebody was like, "Oh, hey, I really want us like all to get together and chat about it and watch it together." And I was like, "Okay, sure."
Do you have an older, like a second run theater that you're going to? Because none of us
No,
still
it's
be
gonna
up.
be on streaming.
Okay. All right, gotcha. I was gonna
Yeah.
say haven't seen it even in our theater anymore. I don't think, but
Yes. That's. I think that day or the day before is the day it's supposed to drop on streaming.
okay. And then I guess completed it a little while ago, but Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So
Hmm. I'm
that
not
one was
completed.
short. So you have not?
No, we're like one episode away because
Oh
Chris this
gosh.
week. Well, Chris this week was like packing. And he was like, I find other things easier to like pack and do and like prep and, get all my things ready for. So we watched some other lighter things, not Ted Lasso, but like anime stuff
Okay.
that he was like, I can watch, but also like pack and,
Sure.
do
Okay.
things too.
That sounds good. And then we need to talk about this sometime. Not tonight, but
Yes.
we
Yes,
both
because we're
finished
both done.
Goldfinger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we gotta get that going.
Yeah, but I did forget to say I've been reading the Bond short stories, which I
Okay. Yeah.
love.
Okay. Good. Yeah. I started the next one, actual For Your Eyes Only. So
Yes. And I read two others. The God, it was like some sort of, what was it? It was like an old-timey one. It was like the Jewel of something or like the Count of something. Do you know what I mean? God, I
okay.
can't remember what the
Sure.
title is now. I'm totally blanking. But I was talking about it last time because I loved the title.
Right. Yeah, I remember you mentioning it. I don't have the book on me
I
here,
don't either.
so But you blew through them pretty fast then, huh?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, they're just so, I don't know, they're just so contained. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't like the big Bond books because um I love like the world that's so different from the movies, even though it's
Sure.
recognizable. He has his own cadence and his own development, but I like the short stories that they're so straightforward.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, our last one I was um one of my one of the more enjoyable experiences, and I I think there should be more short story stuff like that.
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to keeping going there too.
Well, and they're definitely like fun things that could be turned into films for sure if you have like the right creative team that doesn't want to go crazy, but takes like a good concept from the short story and just fleshes it out a little bit. Not a ton, but a little bit.
Yeah, isn't that what we talked about? We talked about that with the last one too, with the first story of the, it's like that. This could be made into a movie. It's not a world-ending stakes kind of thing.
Exactly.
But it's just a good, exciting time. So, no luck, huh?
Nuts.
I mean, let's see, stories of
the Hildebrand Rarity.
Oh,
that's what I read. Yep.
Okay.
We read From a View to a Kill, Quantum of Solace, For Your Eyes Only. Yep. Hildebrand Rarity. Yes, I loved that.
It is cool, but it wouldn't be a sexy James Bond movie title. I can understand why they haven't done that one.
Yeah, it's not a James Bond title. It's definitely like a Sherlock Holmesian title, which is what drew me to it.
Right. Yep. All right. Well, what drew me to Fallout was, the video games. Seeing Ashley play those for a number of years now and everything. And the season 1 was great, I thought. And then we got season 2, and I think we enjoyed the first half of season 2. Lots of questions to be answered and all that sort of thing. They're doing a pretty good job of, having these multiple storylines running through, and maybe we'll talk about how they handled that in this latter half of the season. But just kind of like overcapping here, so we don't go each episode by episode, but maybe more story beat by story, like thread by thread, subplot by subplot. We picked up where when we last wrapped up, there was going to be war amongst the Brotherhood of Steel. We had the had to kill the guy that was going to kill all the kids, all the mutant kids, and boy, things are going to go south there. So they're trying to let everybody know that, hey, he's actually still alive, but that's not going very well. And, attacks break out. Maximus and his buddy get out of Dodge. And that's kind of where we leave them for a while. And then we don't see them for a bit.
The Brotherhood is really not a part of the second half of this season. I mean, even Maximus and Thaddeus are like, okay, you've had your turn in the spotlight. We are going to shelve you for large portions of this second half of the season.
Yeah, that's right. We spent a lot of time going back into the Ghoul's past.
Yes.
Cooper's past or whatever. And getting more context for how things went between him and his wife, and the mission he was expected to or asked to undertake in killing House. And that we find out that House is totally aware of this and has a confrontation with him, brings him in. We find out that House has a person, like a body double person that fills in for the public perception of him. So we deal with that a lot, kind of back and forth. And we get a lot of Lucy still trying to find her father, not knowing what she's going to do when she finds him. And we run into, her father sort of understanding that they're coming for her and using his mind control gimmick to drive a wedge between them, make the ghoul choose, that kind of thing. So we have that whole deal. And then we eventually they end up coming together anyways. We deal with the moral quandaries, look at how the device that her father is working in their factory, really all of a sudden make a lot of progress there. And we see that fully functioning. And then we're dealing yet with the drama within the vaults and Vault 33 and stuff, and a little bit of the background of our overseer, with the eye patch, and find out that she's a Canadian, and they're not from a vault, from the surface. And the other vault, meanwhile, is running out of water. And let's see, and then her brother's on the outside, and quickly finds out. Everybody else finds out he's not who he says he is.
Yeah, he loses control of that real fast.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of all the those are the main pieces we have. We got the Ghoul and Lucy. We've got Maximus. We've got Lucy's father. We've got Lucy's brother. And then the internal vault situation, right?
Yeah.
We're not missing too much there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're moving pieces to all of those, but I think those are our main threads for sure.
Yeah. So, like you said, Maximus, Thaddeus kind of shelved for this, so maybe we leave them for now, and you take time chewing on Lucy and the Ghoul, because that's really dominates a lot of this. Makes sense, especially when they have to also deal with going back into the Ghoul's past. So I lamented last time that, man, Lucy is not being a good partner here, and that kind of continues in this. But how do you take, because really the what this comes to, the head that this comes to, is that the Ghoul is being asked to bring Lucy back to the vault. And he's like, I'm gonna do this, I guess. And she's like, no, you're not. So how do we feel about this?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because I really enjoyed their partnership. And I enjoyed that Lucy got off of drugs really quickly because of the Ghoul. Whatever a Dictol is, that's like a really nice thing that, everybody should have. Somebody invent that. But it was cute. They were keeping up their bantery relationship. They're kind of, odd couple pairing. And then, we get this really agonizing fork in the road, where I think as a viewer, you really do sympathize with the Ghoul, because my God, it's his family. He's getting a chance to see his family. It's been 200 years. I cannot imagine what that must feel like, to be separated from them, not knowing, and then suddenly get this, very crystal clear, solid lead on being reunited. And of course, I think he pretty naively assumes that Lucy's father is not going to hurt her, which, in Hank's defense-ish, he doesn't really plan on hurting her in a traditional, conventional, physical sense. But as we see later, he does have nefarious plans. But yeah, it's really hard for me as a viewer to condemn the Ghoul's choice, because I don't know that I would react any differently as a parent. And so, when Lucy gets that super fist and punches him through the window onto that pole, I was like, dang, girl, I know that you were upset and you feel betrayed, and that has gotta hurt, but that seems really extreme.
Yeah.
Like, you were leaving him there to clearly die.
Yes.
She there's no way she could have expected he would do anything but die when she punched him out a window. So I was very disappointed in that.
I mean, so I'm forgetting exactly, because she punched him out the window and she's passing out yet. So
she sees him on the pole though.
Okay.
Yes, she is able to lean out the window and see him, and then she leans back in and then just immediately collapses.
So, I mean, could we feasibly assume that maybe she would have oh, that's too far, and if she was not passing out, go down and help him?
Yeah, I mean, it probably would have taken her, a minute to get over it, but I think eventually her nature would have said, I need to get him off that, somehow. That is too far. But I think for me as a viewer, I was still shocked, and I felt a little almost personally betrayed by Lucy there too.
Yeah.
Because she gives such benefit of the doubt to other people, but not the ghoul.
Yep. Yeah. And just like, again, he's already saved her,
Yeah.
like, and he's looked out for her, taught her the ways of the surf being on the surface here and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it doesn't feel good. It gives us some, I feel like, I mean, definitely if I was a player, I would be trying to help this guy off the thing, probably, because just gonna sit there all day and no one bothers. But it gave us a good kind of him finding motivation sort of thing, and like he almost made it off the thing, and so that was a pretty good scene.
Yeah, I did have that in my notes. I just said it was such good physical and emotional acting. Like I just felt the pain of him, the helplessness, the fear, both of being on the pole, physically needing to get off, but then also like you can see his identity slippage, that he's not got he's not got his awareness. Like he realizes like, oh my God, I'm going feral. I need to hang on to myself. And yeah, just excellent acting by Walter Goggins right there.
Yep. Is it Walton, right? Walton. Yeah. Okay. Walton Goggins. Yeah. I say Walter, like for whatever reason, but
my bad.
Well, yeah, but I agree.
It is. Thank you.
Then we saw, what's it called? I'm blanking what they're called. There's super ghoul, super mutant.
Super mutant, yeah.
Yeah. Saw one of those now. It's like, oh, I wonder where they are going to be. And so they show up and actually save him. So that's fortunate because I was, are they really going to kill him? Is this going to be it?
Yeah.
I couldn't mind that was going to be what happened.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I really had hoped that he was going to get himself off that pole when he had that, surge of, for my daughter. So I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen. I did feel like there was a rescue. I just, having not played the game, I don't know about super mutants, so I didn't know that was the deal. But it was an interesting aside that feels like a setup for later because they were like, we rescued you because you seem like a key piece in this coming war. Which was intriguing given our like flashback conversations with Robert House, where he was like, you're a key piece for the end of the world. Like your timeline is, somehow affecting my calculations. So you're a player. And now, post end of the world, post apocalypse, super mutants are like, you're a key player. We need you. So yeah, interested to keep learning more about like why he is so relevant to everything. And then also, the super mutants saying there's going to be a war just felt like so super mutants are going to be a factor somewhere down the line here. They're going to be a faction, a team that needs to pick a side.
Yep. Well, in Fallout 76, where we're at now, the super mutants are always fighting the mole men.
Okay. So maybe there's like another war. Who knows?
Yeah. So, okay. So then also we got to talk about the ghouls, the more we get with his backstory. So we kind of find out, again, it's the whole Robert House is, saying he's in on it. He knows, he's aware. And, he ends up like talking to the congresswoman that they were having was getting kicked out of the event down there protesting and stuff. And he's like, hey, what if I could get you like the energy, cold fusion here, and instead of, and then we're going to prevent, what would you do with it? The right thing, whatever. You can hand it to the president. Well, and what ultimate, like, because I never thought that he would have such an intricate role in things ending.
Yes.
But it's his attempt to save everyone and to stop this that it becomes what it is. Like
Yeah.
what a
What a
crazy turn.
tragedy.
Hmm. So, and then his wife, having those conversations, those are tough, obviously, because he like goes pretty hard on her, understandably. But she's like, I don't know what's to do. And we see her attempt to like, she's in a bewildered state, and she attempts to like, hey, if I can get these files, maybe there is something I can do. And
Yeah.
she's confronted in the elevator after that. It's like, look, you don't have a choice here. We'll just replace you with
Yeah.
something. So we can get to the point of empathizing with her more. And like, at what point do you realize things are bad and then get out? But if you don't get out, you're stuck. What do
Hmm.
you think about all that and figuring out more about her involvement and quandary?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the more that I think about the flashback episodes and the more that I think about the people who participate and are kind of floating around as players in this like pre-apocalyptic time and this like kind of barreling towards the ending, the more that I think about that, the more that I think these people just have the same answers to so many questions, where they're all trying to pass the buck or trying to say there's somebody worse than me, and so they just sort of absolve themselves of a lot. Robert House is like, what if I'm not the house? What if somebody out there's worse than me? There's like another shadow organization, ooh, like this could be really bad. Barb, a lot of the time, she's like, I'm not the worst person out there. There's so many other people worse than me. And it's like, so many people are just like, these other guys are the worst. These other guys are the worst. There's more power higher up. There's more power higher up. And it's really disappointing to just watch so many people say like, I'm helpless. I'm not the biggest fish. I can't do anything. There's worse people out there than me, and they're going to do what they want no matter what. So probably should just keep my head down. I know that, in life, choices are complex and things aren't quite as black and white as you would hope they would be, white hats and black hats and obvious good moral choices with, clear evil choices or destructive choices. But it does feel like at least, Cooper slash the ghoul is trying. I know
Right.
that, he ultimately makes a poor choice, but he is trying. And that to me is where, as a viewer, my sympathy lies. Um I do a little bit empathize with Barb, but I do kind of align more with Cooper when he's, looking at her like, you would just end the world, and I know you're thinking of our child, but you could just do that to other parents, create, these mothers
Right.
without daughters and daughters without parents. And that's more where my head would be at. Like, how could I do that to somebody else? Um, so yeah.
Yeah. My thought was like, say you work at, you know, trying to make this not like, specific examples, real world, anything.
Mhm.
Say at tech company A, and, you're opposed dramatically to whatever's happened there. You think it's really important. And then you realize that, like, oh, tech company B, C, and D are also on the same page. We're also going to go down this same path. You're like, well, I get paid good here. I can support my family. What what am I going to do? And it kind of comes down to like, obviously in most cases it's not like the world that's ending, but it's a situation where, like with Barb, where she is trying to ensure her family, because the world is ending, is trying to ensure her family's safety. So it's beyond just like, I'll quit because I object. It's like, no, if I quit, this is still going forward, and now my family has no security. Um,
Sure. But
so
I
you
feel like
feel
sorry, go ahead.
well. My what I came to is just that the only option you have is to decide to give it all up and become like a whistleblower and
That
hope
and
that there's something else that can.
yeah. And that's what I sort of was thinking, like, she feels like her option is like, I'll be replaced, or I can do what I can do to protect my family. And it's like, no, like you don't just have to quit or, get fired or whatever. You could try to, poke some sticks in some cogs and, jam a few gears and slow the machine down, do something. I mean, maybe you don't stop the end of the world, but maybe you do. You definitely don't stop it or prevent any possible, tragedies by being like, I'll help keep rolling this forward, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. When she's in that boardroom listening to like proposals, I was about, oh, let's have like premium lanes. We're just leaving money on the table if we don't, appeal to our premium customers to have fast lanes, like freaking Disney Fast Pass,
Mhm.
Fast Pass to our vault. God, it was just so like revolting.
Yep.
So yeah, so I just didn't know how, she sort of felt this helplessness of like, I either have to do nothing or quit. And I was just like, yeah, you could definitely get a little resistance in there, Barb.
Yeah. I mean, the part of me that's it's tough sometimes with properties like this to discuss it in, you know, how I would most realistically address something is that the worldview of Fallout is really cynical. Like there's tons
Yeah.
of humor with it, and that's what makes the medicine go down kind of attitude. But like the it's everything is cynical. Like the whole we see that with the ghouls sitting there hanging on the post in town, a populated town all day, and no one
Yeah.
will help them. It's like, okay, so all these companies are bad, they're rotten to the core. And if you were a whistleblower, they would go to the government. Well, they're the shadow organization above everybody else. They're the institute, whatever. Like that's so you can't appeal to the company. You can't appeal to a competing company. You can't appeal to the authorities or the government because they're
Mhm.
all rotten. And then people are rotten too. So all the people inside just go along, and let go along to get along.
Mhm.
So in my mind, that's a very unrealistic scenario. This is not the real world. Like you can think there's a lot bad. You can think there's all kinds of things messed up, but that there's nowhere to go, there's no one appeal to, that like when you lose all faith in humanity. And I get like this is a if people are feeling that way, it can be a venting sort of situation or something like that. It's like, oh, I can empathize because it feels this way at time. But really it's not like for me anyways, it's not this way all the time. And there's all kinds of people all over the world,
Mhm.
with all different views and whatever. And I just think that you create a no-win scenario in a show like this or a series like this where everyone and everything is bad. And so it's
Mhm.
like, we get the experiment that Hank is doing. He's like, well, look, everyone is awful, and they don't know how to live, these savages. So I'm going to set them an example of how to live, and they're not going to
Right.
have a choice about it. And so
Right.
this is our way around humanity being awful. Now we have to be awful humans in order to create non-awful humans. And but
Yep.
there's our solution. So again,
And
it's
justifies the means.
yeah, it's fun to talk about, and it creates interesting scenarios, but I don't
Yes.
think realistic. So if you want to like what you would really do in the real world with some of these things, you know, it's just like, if there was a world-ending thing, whatever, and it was absolutely you found out you couldn't go to anyone. Well, what about reaching out to like, I don't know, the intelligence agencies of Ireland, or so,
Sure.
like how do you get word
Well,
out? Whatever, but you take your pick, like
I mean, what about your own husband, Barb?
sure, yes,
You know what I mean? Like in this show, like he is trying. So I think there is for me as a
yeah,
viewer this sense of what if you just at some point been been able to confide in him or been able to bring yourself to tell him, you know, what
yeah,
could you have accomplished if that he was brought in so much sooner?
yeah. Because he's a good person. He knows good people. So that's the proof that there are good people in this world. I guess none of them have a power or say, but if there's enough of them, that's power and say, so I don't know.
Right. Right. Well, and I think again, so much of it is it happens so late. So what could they have maybe done if they'd had more time to think about options and choices and make plans?
Yeah.
Like you say, he is a good person. He's trying to do the right thing. He does have some connections, but what if he could have had more? What if they could have had more resources if she just at an earlier point in time was like, I did not know I was part of this, but now that I know, I got to talk to my husband and figure out what the heck I'm going to do about it
Yeah.
because I can't just go along to get along.
Yeah. And I need to be more, I need to have better understanding of the clear picture, the whole thing of like why this all is happening and stuff. And I get the sell here
Yeah.
is like corporate greed. Then if we are the ones that drop the bombs and ensure, you know, mutual destruction, it won't be for us because we'll be protected.
We'll be fine.
We have all the levers of control. We will be able to reshape the world in our view and our way we want to have things with the people we want to have be there and all this sort of thing. And okay, I can see someone feeling that, but if you look at like how people do it now that are uber popular or uber wealthy or whatever, they buy complexes. They build complexes on the seaboard and then build underground bunkers and stuff. They don't choose then to set the bombs off, but they're
Yeah.
prepared because they'd rather have their fortress and then still be able to you know, manipulate and
Enjoy the
control.
world.
Yeah, but enjoy the world. Exactly. There's
Because
like
that's what I think of when they're like talking about dropping the bombs and remaking society. It's like, yeah, but you remake the earth and it's kind of a shithole. You know what I mean? Like if that's your thinking, and maybe this is like horribly diabolical of me, but if you don't like society, if you don't like the way that things are going, why are you dropping bombs on society? Did it make the planet a nice place to live? I kind of don't think so. And
yeah,
also, like you didn't there's like I know I saw you in here was like I still don't understand the rebuilding plan because hey, I don't either because these like random places are popping up. Nothing seems nice. It seems like there's just like a lot of destruction and decay everywhere. If I was, still alive on the earth, would I want to go around to these different places? Heck no. Like it seems the bombs dropping to end the world to remake society seems like a really short-sighted, terrible plan.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because it clearly it didn't go to plan. It didn't work out. That kind of thing. It's getting messed
Well,
up.
maybe it went to plan, but it didn't work the way they thought whoever they thought it would.
Yeah, something because I mean yeah, and I wonder if we get more answers to some of these things again to clarify some of it. But we saw like that, it's like Shady Sands was,
Yeah,
it's like this
that seemed
killed so many
paradise
people.
adjacent.
Yeah, things were coming back or whatever, and then it's like they couldn't allow that to happen because they
Right,
didn't control it. Hank had to
right.
wipe them. because it's like, no, this is full of a bunch of people that we don't have control of. We didn't
Right.
set this
Who
up in
seem
this.
happy,
Yep.
functional.
So they need to be gone. So let's drop another bomb. You'd
Yeah.
think, more like needs to be some sort of nerve agent disease, something
Yes.
like that, just to
Yes.
wipe
Which
out
is
the
which is
people.
so horrible. But yes, our brains are running along the same track. If your goal is I don't control the people, I don't want the people, why are you destroying the earth to destroy the people?
Yep. Yep.
Gosh, I had a thought there. Yeah, it was really interesting to me towards the end when Hank and Lucy were speaking, and Hank was saying, the surface is the real experiment. The vaults aren't the experiment. And my first reaction was, that seems wrong. I feel like both are,
Yeah.
both are true, because we definitely watched videos of like some sideways things happening in the vault. So no, I don't think that those are just like nice little safe havens and the surface is the experiment. But the second thing was, that's interesting. I wonder if there are places that are these like protected safe havens, and then we do get a very, foreshadowing, ominous picture of this compound / hotel looking thing with like
Oh,
two sets of like
yeah.
rows of white buildings with like bridges, interconnecting them and stuff like that. So yeah, clearly there's protected nice areas. It's just interesting to see still though how much of the earth I feel is wasted by these bombs.
Yeah. It's I mean, I assume that is the institute / the government. Like that's
Right.
the shadow or above,
The
that's
enclave or whatever, maybe.
yes. Yes, the enclave. That's right. Yes.
Yeah. Again, not having played the games, I don't know everything, and I may make like sideways connections, but I thought that felt,
Yeah.
plausible.
Yep. Um oh, Alan's typing something. Alan knows more than us. He can
Ooh,
maybe he's
thank you,
can clarify.
Ellen.
The institute is in Fallout 4. Okay, yeah. So
Okay.
I'm getting it's I don't know why I'm thinking of the institute, but yeah, enclave is right / government. Yeah, that's what. So, but we'll find out more. We'll see. Continuing seasons there.
Mhm.
What do you think of Hank's experiments and like how all of a sudden he had that going and everybody's having a good time and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't decide as a viewer if I liked or didn't the fact that suddenly it just worked. That he had been trying and we'd seen so many mice blown up and people blown up. And then suddenly this random guy is just like, yeah, I could totally handle this chippy thing, you know, get it working, get it going. But I do understand that we needed to like move this plot line forward for this,
Mhm.
so we could see this nefariousness of these automatons, these like pleasant, you know, office workers, that Hank was trying to create this whole like little mini human drone population. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting moral question. Obviously, Hank Hank is trying to, on the surface, build something horribly nefarious by taking free will away and taking memories away, which is a slippery slope, as he notes, because he's like, you can control like how many memories go away and like the extent, you can just like smooth out the surfaces of rough memories, or you can just wipe out. And once you get that chip implanted, it's up to the person who has your controls. So yeah, it seems like, oh, like if I have good intentions, just trust me. But boy, that's a hard sell for me.
Yeah. I mean, they do a
But
good job of creating scenarios where it's like, oh,
yes,
it seems like what else am I going to do here? These two are going to kill each other. Like push the button.
right.
Like it's so.
Well, yeah, no, it's such a good test for Lucy, because obviously she would want people to have free will, because she felt, robbed of hers by her father's lies. And she felt, cheated of her own memories and experiences. They all felt tainted. So she's like, I don't want to take someone else's choices and their free will. Yet also my morals say like I don't want death. So how do I prevent death? How do I prevent killing? That to me is an even tougher one. Than I think a lot of things that I saw in the moral arguments of Cooper and Barb. That Lucy's felt a little bit grayer to me. That was a harder choice. It was also more immediate. It was everything was
Right.
like right in front of you. It's very tangible. So yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, it's one of those things like you have to side on the side of with free will because it's just one of those. It just for the simple fact of you can't allow a single person to have such unyielding power. It's just not going to work out that way. Even if
Yeah.
even if you create a society that is peaceful, it's peaceful of not humans. They're
Yeah,
not
exactly.
really humans. It's like, oh, that's
Exactly.
that's a kind of the lobotomy idea. Well, let's lobotomize all these people, and they should pretty sure are calm and tranquil now, aren't they?
Right.
Perfect. That worked
Right.
exactly as planned. So, yeah. Um, and then got to go into the vaults a little bit. So we
Yeah.
have I forget her name, but overseer with the eye patch,
Steph
Steph.
or Stephanie.
So
Yeah.
she's just announcing she's going to get married. Meanwhile, we have a club that's formed about the like talking to one another
Snacks
about
and inbreeding.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's really something.
I gotta say, Vault 33, that storyline is so like done for me. I'm
Okay.
really over Reg and his snack club. It was funny for a minute, and now I'm just like, I don't need to see you being all you can't take away our snacks. Other than, I think it's just underscoring the fact that the vaults something big is going to happen. Like there's tension brewing and there's going to be conflict. Obviously, I want to get to Norm's, discovery about, Vault 32 and 33 in a second, but just sticking within like the actual vault happenings. Yes, I am sick. I am sick of Reg and the snack club. Betty is a ineffective overseer. I mean, I know she's dealing with a water crisis and like that is an actual genuine challenge, but she's definitely letting Reg just like run roughshod. She's not
Yeah.
just being like, "Listen, I don't care about your snack club. I'm just shutting it down."
Hmm.
She's I think too worried about like opinion and being liked and just can't really like be firm. But I did like her standing up to Steph when she brings her the box and she's like, "I remember stuff about you. I know stuff about you. I am going to creepy wait in the shadows and threaten you." Um, that was very effective and unexpected from Betty. So good move there. Stephanie was, or Steph was all over the place in her storyline. You know, I mean, I feel like we're very used to seeing her as this like take charge, like I'm going to do what I need to do, bossing around Chet. I don't really care about my baby other than like he's a nice prop sometimes. And he's a device I can use to trap Chet so I can like create this perfect safe little family. But honestly, what the heck is she doing creating a new family when Jock, she's already married to Hank? That
Yeah.
that was a genuine surprise to me. Like her whole backstory, she's escaping from some sort of internment camp from Canada. Her mom is like, you have to get to freedom. You have to survive. You have to do whatever it is you need to do. So many questions there. But, she sneakily works her way in the background of all of these episodes where, she's moving forward one step at a time, getting closer and closer to like, how did I get into the vault? So yeah, her working as a maid in Vegas where, Cooper was staying and then like getting to Hank as he's passed out, and, taking him away for cleanup was like, okay, I see where he would have woken up. They would have had some sort of conversation. She starts working at Vaultec, whatever. But yeah, at the end of one of the episodes when she and Hank surprise Cooper and Barb and they're like, we're married. What? What? Yeah, that was absolutely shocking to me, that
Yeah.
storyline.
I wonder if we watch back if there'd be clues, because she never liked her husband in
Oh, yeah.
originally. And so
Yeah.
would we see something else like, oh yeah, she like looks at Hank away, or we ever see them off in a room together, or
Right.
any sort
Just
of
having a discussion. Yeah. Is
yes,
there
any
like a
sort of
training that they
indication.
just came out of or something? Yeah.
And would she like maybe have trouble? Would we see her having any sort of trouble emotionally when he's gone? And us thinking it relates to something else, but now
Sure.
understanding
Sure.
her real husband is no longer there.
Yeah.
I'd just be interested, like, because yes, I didn't see it coming at all. She
Yeah.
has a different husband, and then now she's, with Chet, and so it just, yeah, total surprise.
Yeah.
Um, a storyline that I thought was I didn't care about. I was just tired. Like, Chet, please have some balls. Just like I
Yes.
know that she killed someone, but look, you got to stand up to her. You got to do something here. This is ridiculous.
Right.
It's sad.
Right.
So
And then he did. I was surprised.
yes,
Like, you
yes,
know, I definitely thought he was just gonna roll over, but with reservations, and sort of like sneakily try to like gather evidence for whenever Norm came back, because really Norm seems to be the lead in that friendship. Um, but yeah, he totally stood up to her where he was like, here in front of all these witnesses. I was like, that is
yeah,
so smart, dude. Good
yeah.
job. Way to think that
Mhm.
through. So
So yeah. But and then
we'll
they
see.
did
We'll see.
a little thing on us because he's like, "Where are the glasses then?" I don't have them. And it's like the
Yep.
evidence. But then I forgot then he had the ID yet. So they made us like,
Yes, the
"Oh,
Canadian
it's not,
ID.
no one's gonna believe me or whatever."
Yes.
And then
Yes.
here's the ID. So yeah,
Yep. Yep. He was smart at
I was like,
least one of the times.
yeah, yep. Let's see, and then
Okay, I feel like this is a good opportunity to jump to Norm,
yeah,
because he, while on the outside with everything kind of going sideways for him, discovers in Voltec when they break into headquarters, he gets up to Barb's old computer and discovers that in Vault 32 and 33 there's something going on called the forced evolutionary virus, which I don't know exactly what that means.
right.
Again, there in the second half of this season, I definitely felt a little bit more lost as a person not having played the games. I felt that there were moments where I was like, I'm not sure if that's, just something we haven't gotten to yet, or something new, or if it's something that I would recognize if I'd played the games. So that was kind of a bummer, but this was something I wondered if it was new, or if it was like something from the games. But obviously whatever it was and whatever he was reading on that computer screen gave him serious fears, because he at one point pauses his escape as his cohort turns on him for not telling them who he really is. He pauses his escape to turn on a radio to
So
be
stupid.
like, that was so dumb. That was so dumb. Um, you know, if this was a different show, things I think would have worked out where like Lucy was happening to pass by, or like somebody was happening to pass by at the exact moment he was speaking, and they'd be like, "Oh, hi, who's this?" But yeah, he stops his whole escape to be like, "Hey, is anyone out there? I'm in trouble. I need help. Dad, if you're listening, I am so scared. What's going to happen to our vaults?" Like, he says he's very specific about like what's the deal after reading about that forced evolutionary virus. So clearly we're building to some hopefully more important, bigger storyline in the vaults, because yeah, where we are now, I was not feeling it in these episodes. But if we're moving to some bigger tension, and now that Steph, having been found out and being chased away for being Canadian, activates phase 2, which
Right.
seemed ominous and creepy also. dang, if the vaults aren't gonna, feel like a big presence, I hope, in the next season.
Well, Alan typed in our chat, and I'll give everybody a
Oop.
spoiler warning before I say
Spoilers.
for potential what this could mean and coming up and stuff. Alan says super mutants. So
Super mutants. So the
that's
forced
where
evolutionary virus makes super mutants. Yes.
So
No. Maybe so.
that's what it seems like to me. I don't want to
Here
read
we
any.
go. Here's the forced evolutionary virus. I'll read it to myself, like quiet time.
So yeah, I mean those are the main storylines we have in the latter half of season 2. I think a lot of it came together pretty well. We see that, we get our setup that the ghouls' wife and daughter are not in their chambers.
I called it immediately when I saw those vaults when Hank was like driving past them in the golf cart and I saw their names. I just was like, oh, so we know we're there, but do we know that their bodies are there? Right. And then when they opened up, I was like, yes, I knew it. They were way too foggy. They were way too opaque. Right. You could see nothing. So I was like, they're not in there.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. And then there's a note left behind that would connect, that he could find if he ever were to find them, a breadcrumb. Mm-hmm. So that sets us up for where the ghoul will be heading in the next season.
Yeah.
I thought there was a little the ending. There was a really beautiful song that they did in here. It reminded me of some Game of Thrones music. It's the same composer. Yeah. There was some good stuff there. Some emotional things with Lucy having to chip her dad. Then it's like making the tough call there, and then him not recognizing her. So it was really that was the conclusion to that a wrap up to that storyline.
Yeah.
And, I thought there was a little too much almost they were really trying to squeeze a lot and wrap up a lot in the end of this. So it's a lot of fade out, fade in, fade out, fade in kind of thing or whatever. But I think ultimately the things, even if it was handled a little clunkily because it was a lot, I think they were pretty satisfying either conclusions or here's the direction we're going in the next season. Because we got a little bit more from the Brotherhood of Steel then as well, just where they're headed and wars happening. And then we have the big Maximus. He does show up again to help defend this town. He's got the power by that, and he gets saved at the last minute by the New California Republic. They actually his members. Where'd they come from?
Yeah. That was a very hopeful, storyline. I appreciated that Dog Meat finally did something right for once. He really helped the ghoul out when he reunited him with Maximus and Thaddeus, and then they did their little we're coming back to Freeside in Vegas, and we're here to kick butt and take names. And obviously, the ghoul was definitely using Maximus and Thaddeus a little bit, but it was for good ends, because it led to a bunch of reunions. It led to some, hope that we can stand up to the death claws. Maybe not one guy can take out 13 of them because dang, there were a lot. But he made a good start. He made good headway, and he was inspiring. So, he led these people to be like, hey, we can start standing up. And then they, eventually got saved by the New California Republic. But Maximus, staying there literally at the end with just a spear and a shield was very inspiring. Yeah. So that was a nice, hopeful storyline. The other point of that was to get the ghoul inside to, see what he could see about his family. And along the way, he reunites with Lucy and he's like, hey, he doesn't apologize, but his actions are his apology. And he's like, it's up to you now. Your dad can't do this to you you got to decide what to do, and I hope you do the right thing because you're cool,
Yep.
Vaulty. So that we got that reunion, and then of course we get our like big Lucy and Maximus reunion. It only took all season, but it happened. So there was a lot, I think, moving forward there, like you said, at a rapid pace, but I think the viewers needed some payoff, and I also think they needed to set up conclusions to certain storylines and then send them in new directions. Like the Ghoul is done in Vegas. Now I'm off in Colorado.
Yep. Yeah. So where do you, how do you feel about the season as a whole? Are you happy about it or not? And what you...
Yeah, definitely. It was a little bit bumpier of a ride this season. I really enjoyed the first half, and then I think 5 and 6-ish got a little, filler or bridge, and then they just sort of like hurried a little bit at the end, to kind of wrap stuff up. Like, oh crap, like we did some deep dives, but maybe we also should have balanced that a little bit more with like moving our plot lines forward. So the storytelling was a little bit clunky, but overall, I still really enjoyed this season. I think we've got cool directions to go. I think we've got great questions to ask, great new entities and individuals being introduced. So, I'm excited to see season 3 for sure.
Nice. Yeah, and that's 2 then is where do you think the various groups are going? What are our storylines for season 3? Is House fun? Where do you see the pieces?
He's definitely coming back. His image flickered on the screen when Maximus and Lucy were standing there. So I feel like he's going to be, because I don't really understand his obsession with saving the city of Las Vegas, but that's what it is. So I feel like there's going to be some sort of interaction there because war is happening in Vegas.
Right.
The Legion, at the end, we get the Legion marching in. Macaulay Culkin crowning him. Oh God, Macaulay Culkin crowning himself Caesar. And they're gonna make like a Caesar's palace. Excellent. But yeah, so they're marching in, and obviously we've just seen the New California Republic with their version of an army march in. We know that the mutants the super mutants are talking about war. So yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of conflict there, and House is going to have some digital say in it.
Okay.
So I think we're going to spend some time there with a lot of our characters. The Ghoul is going to be lone wolfing it for a little bit, but he's going to have something that either draws him back or our characters are going to get drawn out.
Right.
Because I don't think you can keep him so untethered for long.
Yeah. It depends, where the Enclave is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The building we see at the end and stuff, like...
Certainly could have been in Colorado.
Right. So maybe that gets... But, it'll be interesting. Why would the others go out there? There's something where the Brotherhood of Steel, they're going to have their conflict. So how do they get involved again with everyone? Yeah. Maybe they're off fighting themselves for a while, and then that introduced later in the next season. It's not a main thread throughout it. I don't know.
Yeah. They seem the most separate piece right now that I'm not sure how we weave them back in. Maybe Maximus reaches out to his friend, and tries to again overthrow Quintus, who, he's like yesterday's news. I'm so over Quintus and his weirdo like self-aggrandizement. I think the storyline that I'm really excited about is Norm, actually. Because he seems like he's dragging Claudia back to the vaults to go home. And what is he going to find? And what are they, if he gets back down in the vaults, what is he going to find? What is he going to share with people? Like, is phase 2 going to come in time to save, Overseer Steph? or is she just like locking herself in a room, or are all the Vaulties who are screaming death to management going to get to her?
Right.
Is Chet going to be one of them? Is he taking over? Maybe is somebody else taking over? Yeah, I don't know. I think Norm returning possibly, which is where I'm assuming he's going, is going to inject some freshness into that storyline.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there it is. Yeah, I think overall I was pretty happy too. Although, like you say, I maybe could have used 2 more episodes just to things could have a little more space to
be smoother,
breathe towards the end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I had a good time. They managed to still give you a few things to think about, just like in season 1. So it's a smart show. It's a fun show. Yeah, It's good. And I wonder, I felt like season 2 came pretty quickly. So I wonder if we'll have that kind of quick turnaround on season 3 or what. So, yeah. I have heard no announcements, but was still doing well. So I'm sure there is going to be a season 3. But whether they're filming now, I haven't heard about filming either, but
they are making a Fallout season 3. It has been greenlit. They are going to film. They're going to film later this year.
Okay. So it could be a late 2027 or early 2028. I mean, if they stick to like 8 episodes like this, I feel like they could manage
27
sometime in late 2027. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems reasonable, I think, too.
But
so, okay. Well, that's something to look forward to. I mean, like you said, I didn't really, even when I started looking this up, I didn't really doubt that season 3 was going to be a thing. It was just more like what the timing was going to be.
Yep. Okay, well, that's Fallout Season 2. In the meantime, everybody can go and jump on Fallout 76, get more Fallout excitement and adventure there. Ashley and I just defeated dang it. I'd never seen one before. A sheep squatch. So it's a combination between a sheep and a Sasquatch kind of thing.
Of all the things I could have anticipated you'd say, that's nowhere near on my list. I love it. I need a picture of this.
Alan sent one.
Good. Oh, Alan, you're so on top of it. I love you. Oh my God, it's hideous.
Yes. No, you're all of a sudden going and getting like rocket launched by super mutants, and then mole men were coming out, and then there was a sheep squatch just in the middle of everything's chaos. So
oh God. Sheep really are such ugly looking creatures. They have the weirdest shaped heads. I mean, don't they? They're so oblong and odd.
That's why they make them creepy black sheep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's a good one.
So,
well, I'm glad you guys are having fun playing. It makes me want to get back into video games more. So hopefully I can manage something here.
Yeah. Let us know. Everybody else, if you can manage, like, share, and subscribe, all that sort of thing. Again, we're in a lot of places here. The Popcast on the Rock show here will go to we'll put it on YouTube, but then we'll also put it on podcast directories, so Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and things like that. The video version is available on Spotify. Killing the Flower wrote our theme song, so you can check them out on music streaming services and YouTube. TrackMouse34, that's Mike. He's on Instagram and YouTube doing he's doing a lot more posts on Instagram now and different things for his cars. So make sure you do that. And then next week we should be back with an anime episode. Probably talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. So it's been a little while, so we'll have to discuss how many episodes of that we want to cover. But that's where we are at that with that. And
I think there's like 4 available right now.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought we'd be further behind. So
yeah, no, there's only 4 right now.
Okay, so everybody look forward to that as well. But otherwise, that'll do it from us. Our next podcast on the next episode will be episode 200. So yeah,
big anniversary.
Yep, be ready for that. And otherwise, thank you all for joining us. And Andrea, thank you for joining me. See you next time.
Of course, as always, cheers, everybody.